Hey guys, thanks for stopping in to check out the video today. Make sure if you haven't subscribed already, go down, click that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Alright, today we're talking bass fishing basics. We're going to back as simple as it can get, one of the most basic rigs you can tie, and it's one of the most versatile. It's the Texas rig. Basically any soft plastic on the market, you can rig Texas style, whether it's a creature bait, swim bait, regular ribbon tail worms, finesse worms. It doesn't matter. You can Texas rig them. It's a bass catcher, and it's a rig that you have to know how to tie. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. You're going to start out with your line. We're just going to pretend that this is going to your rod. And it's a very simple rig to tie. So some people like to peg their weights. They use these little bobber stops to do that. To do that simply, you run your line through the little loop. Easier said than done sometimes. And you pull that bobber stop onto your line. Now I'll get into whether you should peg your weight or not. Probably do that in a separate video. Look for the link up above, probably up here. I'll put that in when I get it done. But if you don't want to peg it, you can just skip that step. Next thing you need is a bullet sinker. Any style, any size. The heavier you use, usually you're going to use that for fishing deeper or trying to get it through thicker cover. But any bullet weight will do. I'm using a little bit larger one just for size so you guys can see. Run your line through it with the cone facing forward. Okay, so you got that so far, and then you just tie on your hook. Okay, to do that, you can use any connecting knot. I really like the Palomar knot. I'm not going to really show you how to tie it here, but if you look at that link up above, if you want to learn how to tie it, I do a demonstration in that video for you guys. Alright, so when you get done with that, you clip off your tag end, and your Texas rig is starting to take shape. Alright, now comes the fun part, is actually rigging the bait on there. Now if you're using a EWG style hook like this, this is what you want to take a look at. Basically you want to lay it out in front of the bait and see how it lays on there, where you should be putting the hook in. I will give you a little tip on this. If you see this short little shank part here, you want your eyelet to be inside your worm or whatever soft plastic it is. You don't want it to be buried way back there, because if it is, when you set the hook, your line is actually going to rip the front part of the plastic on it. So you just want it to barely be behind, barely be inserted into the head of that. So where you see that coming out the bottom there is about where you want to come through with your hook point. So what you're going to start out with, whatever you think the bottom of your soft plastic is, whether it's a swim bait, you want the belly facing the shank of the hook. I'm going to come in right here in the middle and come out right about that spot that I marked where this will be inserted into the head. Just go right through, and then you spin the hook around. Alright, and if you look at that, you can see the head or the eyelet of that hook is just barely inside the plastic there. What that's going to do is prevent your weight from sitting there slamming into the knot all the time. It's also going to keep it more weedless if you're not pegging it and this bait comes through like some grass or something like that. A lot of times it'll just pull off the front of the bait and it'll get hung on your eyelet if you don't. Now, something that a lot of people I see screw up, when you're going to actually Texas rig this, just lay the hook in front of your bait like that. Well, it's perfectly straight, and mark the area where the back of the hook is going to come through. So all you're going to do is turn your worm, come right to that mark, and then push it straight through and then out. Now if you look at that, it's basically perfectly straight on there. That's what you want. Now the last part of this is where you come to skin hook it, because if you push this down at all, you can see this hook point sticking out. That's going to catch at anything in the water. So what you want to do is just pull your plastic back towards the front of the hook and then cover up that hook point. It's called skin hooking. Okay, now you have something that's perfectly weedless and won't get snagged up on anything because the hook point's buried inside the plastic, but when that bass goes to grab this, it pushes it down and it gets the hook point. Okay, if you did peg your weight, you're also going to pull this back down, leave it right there. There you go, you guys have the Texas rig. So where this rig is really going to excel is any type of vegetation, whether it be submerged grass, whether it be visible matted grass, anything like that, lily pads, rice, basically any type of vegetation out there, a Texas rig will come through pretty well. And that, remember, that is because you have that bullet weight on there that's going to deflect a lot of it, pretty much everything. You have that hook point, so it's not exposed either, so it's not going to catch on anything as well. Another couple other places this works really well, any type of wood cover, laydowns, brush piles, anything like that where there's a lot of limbs that your bait could get hung on, this is going to come through it fairly well. I'm not saying it's 100%, but you're not going to get hung up nearly as much, and you're going to catch some nice fish on it. So make sure you guys give this a try. Like to hear your success stories when you start catching some fish on it. And until next time, guys, God bless and good luck on the water.